Hello, tribe. Welcome back. We have developed our standpoint on how to move forward with all the different growth milestones for your child. And we have looked at how to harness those and when they occur and what to look out for. Wow, we covered a lot. Okay, so today I just wanted to go through a few hacks because that's what I love, biohacking for children. So we're going to go through just 4 major areas. I don't want to go into too much detail because the next videos, as I said, we're going to go into each brain, and then into each brain, we will look at the specifics. So a few of these that I'm going to do are generally what is going to be applicable for all of the brains without, as I said that, I thought I must just clarify in case this is your first video. When I say all 3 of the brains, what I'm talking about is your brain, your heart, and of course your gut. So those are the 3 brains we're talking about. And what I will be showing you today is more a case of what is applicable to all 4 on a general level before we dive into the videos that are uniquely tailored to each one of those brains. Sorry, that was a long qualification of what to do, but I need you on board with me because I need you on board with your children's future. So for me, the most important factor that is, I'm saying that, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking of 3 of the most important. Okay, so let's deal with the 3 most important factors for all 3 brains. Is going to be diet, sleep, and exercise, which is actually, when people think about it, it's kind of counterintuitive because you're expecting more. And when you're expecting more, the mental stimulation is what this course has as its pinnacle. And I would say those 3 are the foundation. Now, when we actually do the online course, or if you come to the memory school, we talk a lot about hacking your environment, hacking your external environment, hacking your internal environment. And we then uniquely analyze each child and what each child needs. But of course, here we're just, scratching the surface, but I do want to give you some ideas. So physical excellence is really important. I always talk about the book Outliers. I love that book. Please read it if you can, because your child is going to be an outlier. What they say is any person needs 10,000 hours in a specific task. Now, they don't go into the neurological part of it, but as I'm scratching my hair, the 10,000 hours are forming those solid neural pathways. So if you decide to be a golfer, it's 10,000 hours of swinging or 10,000 hours of putting. It's the muscle memory. And this is why this course is so unique, because I treat the brain as a muscle. In fact, it is the only muscle that doesn't atrophy with age if you treat it correctly. Okay, so yes, you can be a brain bodybuilder. Just trying to think of a word. So that would, yeah, I like that. BBB, brain bodybuilder, all your life. Even though we've just talked about developmental milestones from 0 to 7, your brain is constantly reorganizing itself, and the neuroplasticity can constantly be sharpened. So let's talk about the physical exercise first. I've spoken about the 10,000 hours, but really what we're trying to do for your child is to pump as much oxygen to the brain so that the information can just be quickly absorbed. We've been speaking about them as sponges. So again, think of these kids as air sponges now, just literally absorbing visually, auditory. And this is why our course is set up so perfectly. So when you show them a picture, they've got the visual, they've got the auditory, and they've got the tactile. So they are being pummeled with information at, almost a subliminal level. That's how quickly they focus. And that's how quickly you can do it when you don't have a left brain interfering. Okay, physical exercises that get most oxygen to your brain. The obvious one is running, but in the neurological research, actually, it's any kind of cross patterning. So monkey bars is a superb one for the children if you keep them going at a quick rate. And other sports that they've mentioned is squash and cycling and swimming. So anything there that your child loves, that's what it should be really encouraged. And in the course, we actually will put your child on a program, a unique program for them. But with my children, out of the three, I journaled everything. And at the age of 22 months, that was the youngest. He was running 3 miles at 22 months. So can you imagine the beautiful environment his brain had to grow? All right. Mental stimulation, I don't want to go into too much of that because that is the depth of the course that I teach. But obviously, you just want to engage them, challenge them, activities, whatever it is that you think would be interesting. And I love my languages and music and math, anything that's going to enhance their neuroplasticity. And again, my online course, so you can easily do that. And then the third prong that I said was really important was the diet. For my school, when they do enrollment, they have to promise that the child will not come sleep deprived and sugared up. So sleep is the fourth prong of that stool that we talk about. But yeah, diet is super important. And again, what we're going to do, that was a negative, but in the next videos, we'll talk about all the positives for the brain, the three brains, the brain, the heart, and the gut. And then the final one is the social interaction. There are a lot of studies, unfortunately, coming out now about how we have deprived the infants and toddlers of social interaction during the vid years, because with the mask on, they could only see the eyes. And so they didn't get to do the full facial recognition, and that didn't help firing synapses. So that is obviously a problem, but good news is if you're watching this, you found our course and you can make up for lost time and overstimulate. There's in my mind, there's no such thing as overstimulation, only if you're overstimulating and they're not in an alpha brainwave stage. So as you can imagine, we've spoken about a lot of things here, how all of these, the diet, the sleep, the exercise, the mental stimulation, and the social interaction are just critical for these brain developmental stages. We touched on external environments, and as I say, in the course, we spend a whole day on external environments. I am totally opposed to any kind of digital technology at this stage, and there's so many studies that are out there now, peer-reviewed studies about how detrimental screen time and screen media is for cognitive development. Again, we talk about that. Just as an FYI, my children were 12 before they got to play video games. So there are so many alternatives out there for them, and they simply don't need it in their lives. But again, this is you and your family. And I just always say, imagine if instead of 3 hours of TV time, they spent reading for 3 hours or building Legos or art. But right now, I just want to feed you with information and not tell you how to parent. So feel free to do your own research on that. And again, I'm just so blessed that we don't have to talk about the negative early experiences of trauma and neglect and attachment disorders and stress. Anything like that obviously forms cognitive impairment that we are not even going to deal with, because our children are so blessed that they won't experience any of these developmental delays or reduced neuroplasticity because of the inadequate stimulation. In fact, your children are going to say, stop, I've had enough. And I've had my children do that to me before. And then let me tell you, that's when they disappear to their room to play Lego. They're only too happy to have no more mommy time. That's when you know you've done a good job. Anyway, I thought that would be a good way to end the anecdotal story. I hope this has helped you understand the brain development milestones, how we get those triggers, how we notice those triggers, how we just feed them stimuli externally, internally, emotionally, neurologically, just to ensure that they reach the pinnacle of their success. So once again, so excited that you're with me on this journey. I always say, in the private Facebook group, I hold your hand, and I get to do that in the private coaching sessions too. So if this is starting to speak to you, I would love to be able to, join hands as we raise these lions to raise the humanity level. Okay, have a beautiful day. Bye for now.